We're at Music City Vintage. And we are going to go talk to the owner, Justin.
Oh, hey, Open Status.
What's up, guys? It's Sean with Open Status, and I'm here with
Justin.
from
Music City Vintage and Nameless and Lot 88 and Jay from Music City and everything else.
all the things.
All the things.
All right, man. Well, first, thank you for letting us be in your space.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate y'all coming in the space on this beautiful Friday.
It is beautiful. It is 80 degrees in Nashville.
Gorgeous, gorgeous weather.
Gorgeous. Well, jump right in. So, Justin, I want you to tell us, how did you know that you wanted to be a business owner and an entrepreneur?
That's a good question. I would feel like at the end of the day, like some people claim like I've always dreamt of this. Like I wouldn't say that. At the end of the day, it just kind of naturally happened.
Yeah.
As time went on, like we kind of just naturally just became business owners only because of a sense of like just wanting to bring a service to people that wasn't necessarily there.
Yeah.
Because we started at the flea market and we felt like it was a need for streetwear products specifically to be there, and we felt like we had enough to do it.
Who's we?
Me and my business partner Trey.
Okay. So you guys, you started Music City Vintage by going to flea markets and setting up and just selling vintage clothes, or?
So kind of, yeah. So like, long story short, we were collectors at first. We're still collectors to this day of like many things. But pretty much we started with vintage clothing and like vintage hats, and we ended up having too much stuff in our one-bedroom apartments. So we decided the best way to do this is to go sell at flea markets. And so we went up there, we got a spot, and we just set up shop with one tent, and we had to decide if the tent was going to cover us or the clothes, and we covered the clothes for customers.
And if it rained, you got wet.
It's something, yeah. So the second time that did happen, and that was a lesson in both, right?
Two tents.
Now, second one we need two tents, and then the second time we're like, okay, we now need tarps. So it's all lessons in this.
Okay.
But it kind of just came naturally, personally.
Okay, so for me, when I hear someone, like I collect, we've talked about this, I collect Pokemon cards.
Sure.
When you say that you collected vintage clothes, what does that mean? Like, is it, if there's an old hat, does that inherently carry like more value than like?
No, not necessarily. I think collecting has just been a thing of like something that I've done just throughout my life with like video games or books or whatever it is. It's just kind of naturally just kind of in me.
Yeah.
So even then, like just because something is old doesn't mean it's worth money. Right? It's like also like there's taste, and then there's like the way you curate some things. And sometimes it's just more of a feel. It's not necessarily like, oh, this is that piece and it's eBay equivalent, it's $2,000. Sometimes it's just how you feel and how someone else would enjoy it. Because someone in this game, someone's going to pay as much as they want to pay.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much just our way of doing it.
Just ask for a price, and if someone's willing to pay it, they'll pay it.
Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you can like that's not really a how-to guide in vintage. It's just you kind of have to feel it out.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so you just had your one-bedroom apartment, had too much stuff, went to the flea market, started there, and then did you have a job?
Yeah. So I worked in corporate for a while. So I was an IT guy. So I went to school for 2 years, and became a IT guy, and then eventually became a manager at Staples Corporate, and basically did that full time for many years.
And then were you like putting money aside during that time where you were like, man, I'm tired of this? Or was it just like...
So simultaneously. So I luckily I had a good business, I have a good business partner with Trey. Trey took the leap of faith and he became full time at the shop while I did I did Staples and I did the shop for many years, and eventually I took the full jump to do it full time. And then that's pretty much it.
And so you went to school for IT, and then what is that transition like? Like, what would you tell somebody that maybe got a degree in something that they are like, man, I thought I wanted to do this, but maybe I'm not super passionate about it, and so I want to go do this thing?
I don't know. I mean, I always knew at the end of the day, like, I picked something that I knew was going to make me money, and I could do it quickly enough and like be capable enough to be able to make a living. So like I decided to go to ITT Tech for 2 years, and the first semester of being in IT, I reached out and shadowed the corporation, and they brought me on, and then eventually hired me. So like, I'm probably not the best because I picked a degree that was like, I can do it, I can make money, and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And we'll figure out the rest after that.
And so like, how long has Music City Vintage been
So
here?
technically we have been in a storefront for 8 years in December. But we started at the flea market around like 2015, 2016.
Okay.
So 10 plus years.
Dang, that's a minute.
It is a long time. It is a long time indeed.
And the store is awesome. If you haven't been to Music City Vintage, come
Check it
and
out.
see it. It is
Yeah.
amazing. But what has been like, maybe what's been the most surprising thing to you about being a business owner, and what has been the most difficult thing?
The most surprising thing, it's always surprising. I mean, there's always an ever-changing landscape.
There's always something happening.
Right? Like, we just talked about Abercrombie, right? Abercrombie in 2011 was like
Dead.
wearing like polos for high schoolers. Now, of course, now they're making vintage clothing, good products, even products I would wear. So it's just like the name of the game changes. Yeah.
Everybody has this jacket.
Apparently, I just learned that. I didn't know that, but here we are. But yeah, like things change.
Yeah.
Like I've changed. Like everyone, like things change over time. So like you have to be, you have to have that sense of being always uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Even for me, like part of it too, like I've hit a point where I was comfortable and I feel like there was a lost footing, right? Like being in business for a
Yeah.
long time, you can find your sense in being comfortable, and that can be a problem in itself because in business and anything you do, you really can't let your foot off the gas.
Yeah.
Because
You always had to have some kind of vision of like, okay, what are we?
yeah,
How are we gonna keep
but
going?
you always need to like, right? Everyone wants to be a part of the journey. The journey is part of the process,
Yeah.
not necessarily just the business. The best businesses you always see are always growing, right?
Yeah.
Like Apple didn't stop at an iPod,
Yeah,
right?
The
They're-
first gen iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. So like things always have to progressively move and improve as time goes on, so that you can continue business as a whole.
And so, what has been like the hardest thing about being a business owner? Was it like when you first started? Was there ever a doubt where you were like, I'm confident that this is gonna work because I'm Justin and
I'm a little bit
I'm gonna-
cocky like that, but at the end of the day, like sometimes some things just kind of work. I'm always big on this thing of like, right, you're only living once, right? You're only living once, hopefully. And like at the end of the day, like you want to do the things that you want to do or see, or at least try, right? Because I don't want to live a life that necessarily I'm regretting.
Yeah.
And of course, that doesn't mean I'm not fearful
Of something
of
happening.
things happening and being wrong. But like necessarily, right? When we signed our first lease, we had to come up with $5,000, and we didn't have that.
Yeah.
But we signed the lease, so we had to come up with it in 30 days. So we came across that. We built out the very first shop with
How did you-
$5,000. I took a loan
Okay.
for $5,000, and then Trey took some money out of his 401k, and we built the shop with like $5,000,
Yeah.
and we just kept it pushing.
dang.
So, yeah.
So if you are getting a business loan, it's okay, but just be safe.
Yeah, sometimes some things that work for me don't work for others. Some
Yeah.
things that work for others don't work for me. Like
Yeah.
everyone has to go on their own journey, whatever it is.
There's a coffee shop that she just started it pretty recently in Nashville. I see it on TikTok all the time. And she was like, yeah, I got a business loan and then a bunch of credit cards and started the shop.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would be scared, but
course.
she's absolutely crushing it. And it seems like she's doing really, really well. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
I would have been too scared to do it. But
yeah, that's the thing. I think at the end of the day, like a lot of people enjoy and people are very appreciative of business owners because they took the initial step of being able to cross that boundary of fear. And a lot of people hesitate and are always like, okay, well, I need to get $10,000 worth of product, or
Yeah.
I need these certain hangers, I need these certain hang
And
tags,
if I don't
and then
have
I'll
that-
start it.
Yeah.
But then it's like sometimes you just have to just start it.
yeah, just go to Goodwill, get some hangers for
Whatever.
$1 and
Yeah, it's like I mean, shoot. At this point, there's Alibaba, Temu. Who knows? Like at the end of the day, like I didn't have those resources in 2011, so it's like it's just necessarily like there's many ways of doing multiple things. There's multiple ways of skinning a cat. Yeah, so just go.
That's good. If you could go back and talk to young Justin when you and Trey were at the flea markets just starting out, what is one or two things that you would, pieces of advice that you would give them just starting out? Are there deals that you're like, hey, don't sell this yet?
No, I'm a very future person, so like I might sound just corny or whatever, but like I don't think
sighted.
I think some like everything happens for a reason, right? I don't think I would go back and change anything because it would totally change the trajectory of my life, right?
The butterfly effect.
Right, before I went to ITT Tech, I was touring MTSU and about to go to MTSU, but I already knew what I was going to go to do there, so there was no point in doing that. That would have been a waste of time and money, and who knows, I might have had 2 kids. but at this point, like, it doesn't, like, all things are supposed to happen for a reason. So, like, I wouldn't necessarily would change anything.
Is there any advice that you would have been like, hey?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, just keep going. Like, one of those things that, like, always be willing to never get comfortable and always move forward, always improve, always go to the next step of trying to just do better as a whole. So, and everything.
Yeah. If there was, like, a young guy that was coming up to you, guy or girl, if they were coming up to you and they were like, hey, I really have a passion for, like, vintage clothes, I want to start my own stuff, would you give the same advice? Just like, hey, start small and then keep building and just keep going until you've got yourself something? Or
I have to see you're serious. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you can come to me and ask me advice and all these things, like, but my initial step, and especially just from hearing people, is why haven't you started? What excuse do you have? I mean, most of the people who have this engagement, they're 18, 19-year-old and they got time. Why haven't you started? So, like,
because at the end of the, to you all at the time?
Sometimes, yeah. And those, like, right, how can I get a storefront? You're not ready for a storefront. You don't need a storefront because that is not a responsibility that you want to do. Do you want to, like, because at the end of the day, like, having a storefront is different, right? From doing pop-ups, doing different, like, events. Because when you have a storefront, you're there, you're physical,
and that is real
you're being there, right? You hear about Joe, like Joe's bagel shop in New York. Joe been in there for 40 years. Like, so sometimes there's things where, like, you have to learn how to be, right, a boss or be a manager, right? Like, sometimes some people, even with storefronts, you become an employee of the storefront. I've seen many people do it. So it's just one of those things that, like, just simply just, like I said, just doing it and starting it is always the first thing. And two, like, in this business, there's so many niches. Like, you can do Y2K, you can do grunge, you can do high end, there's so many looks, right? Like, just find your lane, be true to yourself, and start the business.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What is something for Music City Vintage that you are most excited for the next 6 months to a year? You said that you're always looking kind of for the next thing. Is there anything that is on the horizon specifically for here that you're like, okay, this is my next goal, this is what I'm looking for, we're going here? Yeah,
I think at the end of the day, like, big on not thinking small, right? I think in Nashville, especially, I'm born and raised here, I think we can think a little too small, and it's one of those things that, like, I want to continue to expand the brand, right? I want to do business with Coca-Cola. I want to do business with Snapple. Like, I want to do something with Dunkin' Donuts, and I don't think that's unrealistic. And that's really the things that, like, I want to really cater to, like, event activations as a whole, and just continue to grow Nashville and bring more brands and more notoriety to Nashville, because the Nashville is growing with or without us, and I would like to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So,
well, dude, it feels like we've talked about this a few days ago, but you've got what, 4 like businesses now that
we
you're
have three
that you're a part of, and so how do you manage all of that? Because you seem very energetic.
Thank you.
And, like, you've got the capacity to do it. Like, you have to have that if you're.
You do have to have capacity, but also too, like, all the things that I've made, I want to do. Like, none of this came out of a thing of, like, oh, I want to wash cars. Like, I don't even wash my car like that. So I don't really want to. So it's like,
so you're not gonna start a car wash.
Right, exactly, right. These are all things I want to do. Right, I wanted to have a wellness club. I wanted to do an agency. Of course, with this vintage shop as a whole, like that's just kind of what it is. But it's just more or less just naturally like having a team, having people a part of it. It's not just me on none of these businesses, and just always constantly trying to do more with them.
And how important is it to have, like, say, for instance, with Open Status, my sister and I, we started this, and I have found how important it is to have a really good partner. And you said you with Trey, he's a very good partner. For somebody that might want to start a business with, say, like their best friend or a sibling or whoever, how important is having a good partner? And what were things that maybe you guys talked about before you started this so that things don't get twisted?
I think there's things where like you have to find your strengths and weaknesses, right? I'm a very big picture person, clearly. But right, I can miss a lot of small details, right? There's a lot of things that I could necessarily miss in this business. Trey's a handyman. I can do it, but like I'm not the great at it, right? What may take me 3 hours will take him 40 minutes, right? Like necessarily it's one of those things. Exactly, right? Like he installed our lighting. And that's like, there's things that happen. Exactly. I couldn't do it. But like, those are things that like, you want to know your strengths and weaknesses. I think that's a very key, like characteristics that even like in my other businesses, I'm learning more and more, right? Like I'm not great at documentation, but Michaela with Nameless Wellness Club that's her shindig.
Yeah, she loves it.
Loves it, right? And I'm like, I don't. So this is great. So you can put that together all day.
And Google Doc hates to see her.
Right? Like, but it's important because I came back to it and I needed it.
Yeah.
But that's something new and like something that you want to grow with it. But I think that's just the very important thing of just knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and knowing like how to just go with their strengths, like and utilize their strengths and weaknesses, and just do it as a collective.
Yeah. All right, man. Can the people in Nashville find you on Open Status?
Yes, you can.
Follow Music City Vintage on Open Status. And Justin, bro,
do it right now.
Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Of course.
Guys, come see Music City Vintage.
See me now.
Yeah.